Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match pint, the only West Ham United post-match football show on the internet. There you go, Nick. I've done his intro for him. I came back from the Arsenal to West Ham nil game. Obviously, Ryan Scott watched it, and you know what? Nuno said we have to compete, and we did not compete. We was not in that game at all.
No. First of all, happy birthday, Denise.
Denise, happy birthday again.
65 for the last 18 weeks. But I think we competed for about 2 minutes of that game. First 2 minutes, we had a couple of chances. One Fulkrug header, should have buried it.
Yep.
Should have scored it. After that, weren't in the game, mate. I had a feeling that it was going to be like that. We spoke about it on Friday Night Pint, and I predicted us to lose. I said a 3-0 defeat. I just didn't fancy us going there. I thought it was going to be a tough ask for us to go there and compete against a good Arsenal team. And yeah, it was just a poor performance. We had no shots on target. We had no threat, nothing. So it's just a bad day at the office. And we've had many a bad days at the office this year, especially in London derbies. We want to fucking shut that office up and leave.
Yeah.
And you notice and get a new job.
Oh, yeah. Like, the thing is, and that's the thing a lot of the time for me, it's not that we've lost to Arsenal, it's how we lost. It's the manner, right? Okay, we could have gone there and got a hiding, and we didn't. But we didn't really try, to be honest with you. Like, they were so wasteful up top. Ariola made some good saves, but I just felt like we could have had spells in the game, not for 90 minutes, go all out, but just committed a bit more in the counter.
When you go to teams like Arsenal, you got to take your chances when you get them, but we didn't create any, so that was the difference. Arsenal didn't really get out of first gear, did they? Really, they might have stepped it up to second gear at one point, but they didn't really need to. They just controlled the game. The midfield, Declan Rice was running it yesterday in midfield. Ariola pulled off some good saves. Could have been a lot more, but yeah.
And this is the thing, right? Is that you sit there and look at it. Yeah, look, they are a good side, right? But many a good side have gone, and we've seen through the years that teams go and get shock results by sometimes taking a game to teams and not just letting them dominate. And for far too long now, since probably the end of the Moyes era, we've let certain teams dominate us, right? And I know that's our first loss at the Emirates. What is it, in 3 seasons?
No, this is it.
But we just offered nothing. You know, you see the frustration. I know Fulkrug took a lot of criticism lately, but you see his frustration. You see him going to charge down a player when they're camped out in their half. He goes to shut a player down. He's the only one shutting. He turns around. You see him turn around and go, what am I meant to do?
The thing is, Scott, right, and I know I might upset a few people here, but I'm not having Fulkrug. I don't get what he brings to our team. His touch is off. His hold-up play is bad. And I know people will say, yeah, but we're not playing to his strengths. But he's not allowing us to play to his strengths because he's not offering himself. Because sometimes he's 5 yards off where the ball is.
He's too deep.
And look, I think he gets a lot of people like him because of his attitude, and I get that. But I've been watching him now for a little while, and I've seen strikers at our football club over the past few years, Skamaka, Haller, get dogs abuse. And I'd rather have one of them two than him. And that's just my opinion. I don't get what Fulkrug does.
I don't see him scoring many goals the way he plays.
No, I get what you're saying, but you summed it up there. Too deep.
Yeah.
Right? And this is what I keep saying, and this is what we were saying on Friday Night Pint with the likes of Chris Wood, right? Chris Wood at Forest, big centre forward, hold up play, brings other people, threat in the air, right? What does Chris Wood do when he's at Forest? Brings the players in. First thing he does, try and get some in the box. Cross comes in, he's there for the header, right? Yeah. How can we do that again? Like you said, with Skamaka, with Haller. How do you expect to do that when your striker's here and every other player is here? You know, we camp out in our own half. We've got no pace apart from Somerville, who I thought was awful yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the problem. You've got to get up the pitch. We sit far too deep.
I get that, but look at the last few games. Every time that ball has gone up to Fulkrug, it hits his chest and it pings off him.
Yep.
His hold-up play is not that good.
Yep.
And I get what you're saying. The difference between him and Chris Wood is Chris Wood can hold a ball up.
Yeah.
And look, I like Fulkrug, and I really hope it turns around. I think the best thing for him would now to be maybe try to get somehow Callum Marshall into that team to play up top with him. I know that's not the way Nuno's going to play, but he needs someone around him because
Yeah, because his link-up play is his strength.
Yep.
But if he's isolated up top, he's got no one to link up with. And then you're asking him to hold it up, like you said, he's not good at it. So the only way you're really going to get the best out of him is make sure you have players in and around him that he can lay off the ball and move and
which
pass.
you've got to play higher up the pitch. And this is the thing, when we go into the next game after the international break against Brentford, I don't want to see us camped out in our own half.
No.
You know what I mean? It's Brentford. They're not great. You know, they've picked up a few results, but they're not great. Take the game to them.
Well, the thing is, Scott, I screenshotted it because But our next few games is Brentford at home, Leeds away, Newcastle at home, Burnley at home, Bournemouth away. Now that next 5 games there for Nuno is massive,
huge,
because he needs to pick up points. In them games. I'm not saying that like Bournemouth away is a difficult game. Bournemouth are flying this season.
Yeah.
Newcastle at home is going to be difficult. But Burnley, Brentford, Leeds away as well should be games that we should be targeting to think we can get 3 points there.
There should be at least 7 points out of that.
Yeah, because if he comes out in the next 5 games and we've only picked up 1 or 2 points,
yeah,
you know.
And this is the thing, we're banging trouble. And the thing is, you've got to look at Bournemouth, right? They lost basically their entire back line. And they've just carried on where they left off from last season.
It. They're a well-run football club.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Oh, yeah, I want to quickly say thanks to the Roundhouse. Obviously, not just Denise, but the Roundhouse. for, of course, always come down to Roundhouse, my local. Great pub, great stuff going on, and they do food as well. And, thanks to OK Jerseys for this shirt. If anyone's thinking, oh, look, he talks about the ball, then he's bought merch. No, thanks for OK Jerseys. Check them out. But yeah, it's just
thank you to Lyland Scott for producing these
smart
shirts.
That's a smart.
Mate.
Yeah, but no, it's a really just depressing state of affairs at the moment where we are as a football club, you know. And I was at the game yesterday, and I just was like, this is really where it's come to, like with just a nothing team at the moment. Nothing.
That is the worry, mate.
I think the way Nuno set up yesterday, it was more like a 4-3-3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, what must it? Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to think how we play, because I noticed it that certain players were dropping off a bit more, and like if that's the way he sets up, he done that at Nottingham Forest and it worked for him. So, but I don't know. He's got a big job on his hands. I know we was all happy with the result last week, and I like Nuno. I think he's brought a lot of personality and I think he will turn it around. Yeah. I'm confident he will turn it around.
It's just a massive job that he's got on his hands.
He's got to get to January, and he's got to try to bring in some of the players that he wants. He's got to be backed, and we've got to hope that by the time we're in January, we're still in. Yeah, we're not fucking.
And the thing is as well, right? I know that Arsenal played well, right, but we didn't make the 2 goals. We didn't really make them work for it. Fernandez switched off completely. Like he just let was it Eze just drift past him. You know, he's got caught ball watching, which has left a space in behind for Eze to go through. You know, and Rice decent finish. And,
good save by Areola. It's just unfortunate. It falls to Rice.
Yeah, exactly. But that's again where I think we're still slightly off the pace.
Why was Rice completely unmarked?
This is what I'm saying. And you see it a few times where I thought we defended the set pieces a lot better. Yeah. We looked a lot stronger defensively.
Defensively.
Yeah, I thought Kilman did as well.
Kilman as well.
Yeah, but you see, we defend the first part of the set piece, right? But then when the balls then drop into the edge of the area, we're not busting a gut to get out to shut someone down.
This is it, because last week I was impressed how organised we looked, but we kind of looked disorganised, and it was because there was so many times where that ball was pinging around in the box. Areola would make a save, and then it would drop to someone, and Eze had a great chance. I don't know how he skied that over the bar.
That should have been 1-0.
Yeah,
much similar to Rice's opportunity. That one, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, it was a good finish by Rice, and obviously he's not celebrated, but he has, because he run around the side of the goal, and I don't know why he gives the death stare to our fans. I mean, look, it is what it is. It's all sort of like he's getting a bit of abuse from some of our fans, but. And I know he didn't really over-celebrate, but giving that death stare, I'm like, fucking hell,
Like, and the thing is, it's not like anyone's calling him names, and you like
it's pantomime, isn't it?
Pantomime, Mitch. You should have signed for a big club, which is a joke, and some booze.
Yeah,
like that's it. No one's calling him names or anything, and so to him to do that, I just thought, you little mug. But you did it. Like, if you're gonna do it, come out and do it with your full chest. Don't try and be sly about it so you can get away with it and be like, oh, I didn't celebrate. Go on, fist pump and all
Unless
that.
he
if
was,
that's what he
unless he was looking at someone in the crowd that he might have been getting a lot of abuse on.
Yeah,
I don't know,
that's it.
but
I didn't hear anyone give him some bad
you
abuse
see
when I
when
was there.
obviously watching it on the telly, when you see him go to take the corner, you see the few people there, they're giving him the wanker signs and shouting dogs abuse at him. But that's part of it, He's got to expect that.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's ever going to sit there in years to come and think, you know what, they don't respect what Declan Rice done for us. He come through the academy, he won us a trophy, well, not on his own, but he was a captain, and he got us £100 million transfer fee. Yeah. So no one's gonna fucking sit there and really hate him, but you're gonna dislike him because people look at it as that when we was in the middle of a relegation battle, he was awing himself out to Arsenal and having secret meetings and things like that. So
that's what I'm saying. And he can go down two roads, right? He can either front it and take it on the chin and go, do you know what? The fans let him have their say. That club made me. Or he can go the Lampard route and just double down and then just become a figure that's hated in this club for years.
I don't think he would. I think Declan Rice, he's got a lot of respect for West Ham. He loves the football club. Exactly. I see him in an interview the other day and he was talking about us and that. So he's never going to hate the club. But look, it's been 2 years since he left the football club now. Like if he scores and he wants to celebrate.
But that's also now the thing is like we said when he moved and all that. At the end of the day, he's had dogs abuse from Arsenal fans saying that he never puts a performance in against West Ham.
Yeah.
So it's catch-22 for a minute because he, like you said, he does respect the football club. He's got like you said, he appreciates what West Ham done for him, right? But also he's also got to keep them Arsenal fans that are there now week in week out on his side.
Well, not
so
only,
he's
not
stuck.
only the fans, mate. It's the manager and his teammates.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Rice has intentionally gone out and not wanting to put in a good performance all the time. He stuck one in the top corner against us at London Stadium. His first return there. So he's a professional player. He's going to want to do his best for Arsenal, but I can understand it is a little bit hard for him because he's got a lot of people that he loves still at the football club, like backroom staff and people that work there, and obviously fans. So. But it was a great finish from Rice, and once that went in, I just thought to myself,
"Oh yeah,
there was no way back."
That's it.
I was fearing the worst, to be honest.
We had to score first to have any chance of getting something. That had to be the thing. And I was there and I was thinking, you know what, we've defended well here. Like we haven't off goal, defended well. Just get to half time, 0-0.
I thought the same as you. I thought if we could get to 0-0 at half time, come out in the second half, I thought we had a chance.
Yeah.
Because the pressure's going to build on them, and then that's when they start making mistakes. Yeah. I think the timing of that goal sort of
it's perfect
helped them a bit. Yeah, it helped them a bit.
And that is a little bit of luck. And I said that when I was in there, right? We did not get the luck of the bounce. And sometimes, obviously, you have to make your own luck, right? Yeah. If you're on the front foot, if you're in their area more than they're in yours, you're gonna get instances, right? But there was situations where. Like Fulkrug or Bowen will go through and the ball just bounce off instead of bouncing his path. Marshall, the ball not bouncing quite right for him, and that's just a situation of it just so happened. And we was chatting because there was a one time where Areola, that first one, when he's laying on the floor and he sort of palms it back into the path of Eze.
Yeah.
And me and Marshall was sort of saying he could have palmed that sideways, right? That one there, some people said he should have palmed that to the side. The pace on that shot. He done well to react.
Look, this is the thing. None of us are goalkeepers, and it's sometimes hard for them. It's just they've got to react the best way they react, and the main thing is to not let the ball go in. And you say with the luck, look at the one that hit the post and hit him on the back.
Yeah,
we managed to clear it away. On another day, that hits him on the back, goes in the back of the net. Yeah, it's just this is the thing. It's fine margins, and
He was doing his nut at the defence for that Rice goal, though. You could see him; he was livid.
Yeah, because someone should have been there. Someone should, as Scott said, someone should have been busting the gut to get out to block it, or someone should have been marking him.
Yeah,
but it was just like
Magassa was nearby, but Magassa wasn't close enough. Magassa should have been there.
The thing is, right? I think with Magassa, we've got to give him a couple of more games to bed himself in. It's a lot. Like I said, it's. Going back to that, we're making little individual concentration errors. As I said, Fernandes switching off to let Eze through in the first place, and then obviously, like you said, Magassa not being tight enough to his man. You're going to give him a little bit at the minute, but if we're still making them mistakes 5, 6, 7 games down the line, then there's an issue.
Yeah,
I think they're focused so much in training for me, what it looked like to be organised at the original set piece, the ball coming in, defending the crosses, that type of thing. That then they've took right off the ball at that second phase.
Yeah. I mean, I forgot that they actually scored, didn't they? Saka was offside. He was rightly offside, but that was the warning signs were there.
Yeah.
From that
Should
moment.
have been a wake-up call, to be honest with you.
Thing is, I thought Juford had a hard time against Saka.
Yeah, Juford it weren't his best game yesterday. Even every time he tried to cross the ball, he kept hitting the first man. Like, it was a bad game. Somerville, I thought Somerville done a lot of running. You can see that he was trying to get the ball and take people on, but they was just doubling up on him.
Yeah, there's no support.
Tackles in. Paqueta went missing, I think, a lot yesterday.
Yeah. I think it was due to just how deep we sat because we were so fearful of them catching us, on the counter or the ball over the top. And it's annoying because there's so many problems to try and fix. But I think looking at it, Nuno's picked the one that needs fixing the most, and that's defensive rate. We went up against a side that scored more set pieces or scored more from corners than anyone else, and we didn't concede.
Well, they've scored 8, we've conceded 8.
Exactly. So he's addressed that. Yeah. Which is one good thing. Yeah, I think we've got to start. We none of us expected us to get a result here. I think we've just got to be looking at the little positives that we can take from the game. And look at it now. Right, we've sort of sorted this out. Now we've got to go Brentford and
Well, it's a big 2 weeks for Nuno now because now he'll probably get his own backroom staff in. He'll be around the club a lot more. He'll work with players that don't go away on international duty. This is the problem now. You probably don't want the likes of Bowen and all them players to go on international duty because he wants to work with them at the training ground. But as I said, he'll get his own backroom staff in now, and big 2 weeks for him, and hopefully that Brentford game because it's going to be a tough week because we've got Brentford on the Monday and then Leeds away on the Friday. So it's a quick turnaround. So which is sometimes a good thing because if you get a good result against Brentford, you want to play again straight away.
Yeah.
So
that's a mad thing though to have a team play on a Monday and a Friday.
Yeah, I don't get that.
That's crazy scheduling. But I think there was Callum Marshall. He come on and he did well. He beat Saliba in the air, which is great. And he's unfortunately didn't get his goal.
He come. It was nice to see Potts come on, Marshall come on. It's nice to see Nuno giving him a chance. And obviously Marshall's been smashing it for the under-23s this season. I think he's got a big future at the club, and hopefully he gets more chances in the next few weeks. But
if Fulcrum keeps playing like that, he's got.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised he hasn't used Callum Wilson though in these 2 games. I don't get why he hasn't.
The Everton game for me was the one that I thought.
Even yesterday, though, Scott, I thought he maybe should have come on at half time for Fulcrum.
Yeah, it's a bit strange, isn't it? I don't know whether they're trying to manage his fitness or what, but it is a bit odd. And you've got to start. You've got to. Unless he's on a
pay-as-you-play thing.
Sullivan
started getting fucking hang on, he's not getting injured yet. Leave him out of the team.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think in that game, where the striker was always going to be isolated, I think you needed someone with a bit more legs.
I sort of get that. We said that in the chat.
Marshall,
and that is it. But like I said, look, Marshall, he didn't do anything really wrong, did he? It was always going to be a hard ask for him to come in and do something special against Arsenal.
I know we lost, but I like to see his interview after because you see the excitement on his face. Yeah. And that's nice. Potts done it the other day at Everton away. It's their excitement that they want to be playing. He done all right when
he come on, Potts?
Yeah, nothing wrong. But obviously, big talking point was the penalty, in or out. I mean, I was watching Ref Watch this morning and they were saying that obviously, I know it started outside the box, but finished inside the box, which I don't really understand.
The initial contact's outside.
I mean, it's a tough one to take. If that would have been the other way around, I'm sure Arsenal fans would be sitting there now saying it's not a penalty.
If it was the other way around, it wouldn't have been a penalty. That's the problem.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If that had been us.
I wonder if that works in the reverse then, right? So say someone fouls someone in the box, the contact starts in the box, but continues out of the box. Is it then a free kick?
It's going to be a penalty.
That's the thing. So how can it work?
And this is what I'm saying. Listen, I ain't taking that away from Arsenal yesterday, but the fact that the initial contact, right? Because it was a foul. The initial contact is outside the box. It's a free kick, not a penalty.
What didn't help Diouf was that he still had his arms around him and he's falling into him and the legs are tangled. So it's a clumsy challenge. He shouldn't have allowed it. Was it Timber he brought down?
Saka, I think.
Was it? But it's silly from Diouf. He shouldn't have been in that position anyway. It's cost us because he's gone down. It's a penalty. Refs give it, and yeah, it's a great penalty, great finish.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one because I look at Diouf and I think it's poor. He should be doing better. But in that situation, because you think if he lets him go, then there's a chance that he misses. But if he lets him go and he scores, then you're going and screaming at him for being lazy and not making the effort to try and stop him. So he's made the effort to try and stop him, and unfortunately, it was a clumsy effort and it's given a penalty away. So
concentration levels again. That's what it boils down to, mate. And that's the thing. When you're on the back foot for so long, it's hard to be concentrating for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And this is a thing, and you see. Overall, we just didn't have an outball, did we? It was Timber.
Was it? Yeah. I thought I said to check that because I'm sure it was Timber.
Yeah, it was
Saka
took it.
Saka took it. Yeah.
So I thought because obviously Saka and Diouf were going head to head for most of the game.
Yeah.
But
that's sometimes where this leads us back to what we were saying about the way Potter treated players, and we got rid of players like Emerson. Yesterday would have been an ideal game for somebody like Emerson who's got that experience against the bigger players, the top players, that you could rotate. We see Wan-Bissaka come straight back in, which I think was a good call. Nate against Cole Walker-Peters, he's played
it was
well.
a tough decision.
But I think it was the right decision.
Yeah.
And that's where now we've left ourselves vulnerable because we've got rid of an Emerson. We got an inexperienced Diouf and then an inexperienced Ollie Scholes.
Yeah, I think we actually dealt with I don't want to say Saka was outstanding yesterday. So I think we isolated him a bit. But look, Saka's a great player. He's a good player. They've got Eze, Odegaard. I know he went off early with the injury, but they've got so many. They've got so much talent in that team. Gyökeres as well.
I don't rate him. I'm sorry, I don't rate Gyökeres. Because a few times I've seen him now. Yesterday, there was not a single point in that game I was worried about Gyökeres.
No.
It was all their other players. I was like, oh shit. Even Calafiori, I'm like, oh shit.
I get that. But the thing is, with someone like Gyökeres being in that team, like an Arsenal team, it's like Haaland in the City team. He just has to be in the right place at the right time and he'll score goals. I think he will score goals for Arsenal.
He's obviously not getting in the right place. Haaland bangs them in.
I kept this quiet on Friday because I didn't want the old curse of the commentator type thing coming back by it. But I said this to my mate who's an Arsenal fan. I said, wouldn't it be really funny by the end of the season that your main striker is going to be Havertz?
Yeah.
And Gyökeres, I think, is going to be one of them strikers who only normally scores against the weaker oppositions.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be a big game player for Arsenal.
No.
He will be. And to be fair, for Arsenal, that's what they've needed because they've come unstuck over the last few seasons, losing to so-called weaker sides. They've always been all right against the big boys, but they've lost against the weaker sides.
But you look at it yesterday, right? Say the ball, right? Areola makes a save and it pings anywhere else, doesn't drop to Rice, and then the penalty maybe initiates contact earlier on. They don't get that decision. It was fine margins that they got those goals. They deserved the win, but it was fine margins, right? So say we come away 0-0. Then you're looking at him going, well, that was a game against a lesser side that he hasn't been.
And this is what I'm saying.
This is what I'm saying. So for them, he was brought in for them to be the bit top goal scorer. Like their Haaland, their guy that's challenging for goal.
He's not going to be that.
And that's the problem. Is he coming with a high reputation? So
I think Gyökeres has obviously got to have a bit of time. He's 6 games into the Premier League. He
has played in the Prem though before.
Yeah, I know, but
and in the Championship,
it's a different level for sort of like playing for a team like Arsenal challenging a title because there is a lot of pressure on him. Obviously, they brought him in to score goals. Like you said, like Liverpool brought him easy to score goals. And it's I'm not going to knock him. I think he's a half decent player.
He brings something different to their attack.
Yeah.
I just every time I've watched him, he's been the least impressive player in their team.
Honestly, I'm with you because that's my feeling when they signed him, and that's why I said to my mate, it's going to be you're going to end up with Havertz up front by the end of the season.
Yeah, 100%. Once Havertz is back, because Havertz is more of a goal threat than.
Right, I'll be honest. I'd rather have him up front than Fulkrug.
Oh, but this is the thing, and that's what I'm saying. It's just
I think they're very similar.
It's just my personal opinion. I said this with him, scoring goals in Portugal.
I think Gyökeres. I think I'll give him a lot of credit because he's got a lovely haircut as well.
Yeah. So listen, it's our situation. We just need a decent striker. We've had 48 strikers they've signed. And
we've got a decent striker. He's just too old now.
What, Wilson?
Callum Wilson.
Oh yeah. But that's it. Well, he's not. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
That's
The
the
thing
point.
is, like with Fulkrug, I know I said what I said about him earlier, and that's what just my opinion of what I've seen of him. Like,
I think maybe he's not up to the Prem.
I think he can become good, but I don't know. I just don't have it with him. I see a lot of people on social media really bigging him up, and I'm like, what are you actually watching? Because we're obviously watching the same games, and I have not seen him do much. I mean, how many goals has he scored since he's been here? I know he was out injured a lot last season.
He's not scored many, and
But
that's the thing.
he come back like what? I think what pissed me off with him last season that he come back after being out for ages. He said what he said, and I thought, okay, now go and prove it, and he hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
So like that's what's pissed me off of him.
I also think slightly because we're not playing to his strengths. I don't see him.
But he doesn't play to Arsenal.
No,
he doesn't.
But,
he,
but,
he,
it's-
he-
but
a
and
lot of strikers.
and
You look at strikers down the years.
Yeah.
When they're not getting a service, what do? Go and watch a 10-minute clip of Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
What did he used to do?
Drop
Harry
in
Kane
the
does it.
midfield.
He'll drop
Drop
and
in
come
the
and get the
midfield.
ball.
Yeah.
Fulkrug won't. He'll just stand there, and if the ball comes off, like I've never seen a target man chest the ball and it goes 5 yards
Yeah.
off, and then he hasn't got the pace to get there.
Antonio.
Yeah.
At least Antonio had the pace. Antonio had the pace to get there.
That's the problem. Is Fulcrum will come deep and get the ball, but pass it off. Like he's not going to go right. I'm going to come and get the ball, and I'm going to fucking go.
No, and
Yeah.
again, this is the problem where that if he does do that and drop deep and get the ball, there's no one running off him. Anyway.
No, I know, and that's where Bowen should be. That's where Paqueta should be. That's
It's
where
just
Somerville should be.
It's we have the same conversations over 3 different strikers.
Yeah.
We had this conversation with Skamaka, and we had the conversation with Hilaire. And yes, you can put some thingies on the striker,
Yeah,
but
you've got to start to think
be
we're the
looking-
problem.
Listen, but do you know what I mean?
we're the
It's-
common denominator.
As I said earlier, I mean, like I've seen. I mean, Nicky sat here once and said Haller's the worst striker he's ever seen at West Ham. Like
No, we've seen.
I've seen, like we've
He's
seen the
some
likes
of
of Haller with Skamaka, and they get a lot of dogs abuse, but they offered a lot more than what Fulkrug does. So I don't get the loving for Fulkrug.
Hilaire at least scored goals. He weren't prolific by any means, but he scored goals.
I think Hilaire, if you had Hilaire and put him in the team that actually attacked and
Yeah.
played
Well,
higher
it
up
proves
the
it
pitch,
because
he
whenever
scores
they
more.
leave, they score goals.
Exactly, yeah.
This is
It's
the
only
problem.
Skamaka, I think, has fallen off a cliff
Yeah.
now, isn't he? He's
I mean, I
disappeared.
haven't heard from him.
But
Like,
Yeah,
not personally, I haven't heard anything about Skamaka, but I don't keep an eye on Italian football.
This is the thing. Is I hope that Nuno can do for Fulkrug what he did for Chris Wood, because Chris Wood weren't doing anything before. His goal scoring record was pathetic, like in the recent seasons, and then he just unlocked him.
Yeah.
So I hope he
Yeah,
can
if
do
anyone's going to get the best out of Fulkrug, it'd be Nuno.
that. Yeah, and he must think that he can to keep starting in 2 games in a row and not drop him.
And I hope he does come good, because, as I said, I like Fulkrug's character. I like him, and I want him to come good. I want him to be a goal scorer. I want him to get 10, 15 goals this season.
And I think he could be a leadership role, but it's hard to be a leader when you're not putting in goals as a striker. You're not. If he was banging in goals, it's easier for him. But I do see a leader in him. But the stats, I see that. I shared that with you guys earlier, that West Ham have lost more London derbies than any other club in the league, so you're bringing in Fulham and Palace and Brentford.
Yeah, but you got to think we've been in the Premier League a lot longer than some of them.
Oh yeah, there's some of them. Yeah, that accounts for it. But
and when you look at that, when you start looking at that stat though, Dan, you've got to look at that. There's been times when we've been in the Premier League and it's been us, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's been times when it's been them and Charlton, and we got beat by Charlton, but
us and Palace have been in the league quite a lot at the same time, right? But I think that stat really changed, and we became that bottom team during the London Stadium era.
But I'm also sure though, Dan, we've been in the top flight of football, one of the longest.
We've never been outside
and got one of the worst goal differences.
Divisions, have we?
We've been out 3 seasons since we came. Well, I guess we was out for the first season of the Premier League, right? So you could probably say 4 seasons since the Prem started.
Yeah.
Palace, I'm not sure what Palace would be, because they went down and they got promoted at our expense earlier in the 20s.
They've been down a couple of times.
Fulham
as well.
have been up and down more than fucking Katie Price's knickers.
Yeah.
They're like the London Norwich, aren't they?
Yeah.
They were.
They were now.
They're
No,
not
they're a bit
now.
more
They're very-
stable. That's it.
Brentford have not been up, gone down since they've come up. So how long they've been in the Premier League now? 5 years.
I think so, something like that.
5,
The
6
thing is,
seasons.
we've been a stable-ish Premier League side, but we've always sort of flirted mid to bottom half of the table, haven't we?
Yeah,
It's only really in a few recent years that we've been in the top half consistently.
Yeah,
you know,
but that's where we need to try and be now because of what we've given up to be.
You could have been that club at the bowling.
Exactly.
You know, and this is what we were saying. When you look at other teams that have gone on to do things, you know, Crystal Palace haven't left Selhurst Park, still needs redeveloping, but they've got a trophy. They're playing in Europe.
In 19 games.
Exactly, and this is the thing. This is where
And they've
you've
got
got to have a
Revede,
structure.
Elise, all these players. Yeah.
That's it. But also they
But you know what?
Their main
They've
man
got
was-
a very good manager.
and that's it. And that's the problem. And this is what you've got to start looking at. The problems lie a lot deeper than just the stadium. But like we said, the stadium doesn't give us a home advantage. You know, that is
It's a neutral
big
ground,
thing.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a
It's a
neutral
ground
yeah.
for home and away to
Yeah.
players. Like
Yeah.
for the amount of times I've seen a team come there and take the piss out of us, it happens too often,
Yeah.
and that's the problem.
This is the thing, like, even though, I was at the Emirates yesterday, even though it was quiet, right, and their fans were shit, like, when you're in there, it feels like I'm in Arsenal's home.
Yeah,
Like,
football
it
stadium.
feels, it's football stadium, there's red everywhere, there's Arsenal branding, like, all the seats are red, like, they have everything about it, you feel like you're at Arsenal's home. In our ground, like you said, it feels like a neutral ground. And that's the problem.
That's
So
it. That's it. But as we said, it's
Yeah.
when you're going football and you know you're going to your home ground, it's never an aggravation to go football.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. You know, to go over to London Stadium is an egg because
Isn't it? Yeah.
you got to walk miles from the station. You're like,
Yeah.
Do you know what makes me laugh?
Pissing
Right?
down
Because
the
this is
rain.
when Nicky used to say this to me. I used to say, oh, like, see, we walk miles from Stratford Station to the London Stadium, right?
yeah.
We used to walk all the way down the Barking Road
Yeah.
from Canning Town to Upton Park,
Yeah,
which
which
was
was
longer.
Twice as long.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
but the walk. But the thing is, the walk was more enjoyable, right? Because
Yeah,
walking
because
down that
Nicky used to
Barking-
stop at the chicken and chip shop.
Well, yeah.
But that's it. You can't do stuff
And
like
buy
that. Do you know
movie
what I mean?
PlayStation games from Roger, who was
Yeah.
like a dodgy bloke.
Well, that's it. Like walking down the Barking Road, you'd stop for some food, pie and mash. You'd stop in different pubs. You know, I'd come up the other way, East Ham way, right? So I'd be in the Denmark. You know, I'd be in the Central, the M&M bar, like, and we go. So you're there, and you're like, it feels like you're at
The
your
M&M
home.
bar was rough, wasn't
It
it?
was rough. It got shut down in the end because of
Someone got stabbed there, didn't
yeah, last season in the Boleyn. So we was gutted because we couldn't go in there anymore. We used to be at karaoke after the game. But that was it. Like you could stop off. So I loved the walk. I wanted to. I could have.
I miss them old pubs. Remember the Hammers?
Yeah. Oh, that was rough. That was a rough.
That was
one.
rough, but it was a decent pub.
It was good, but yeah.
I used to go there. The Weatherspoons opposite the town hall.
Yeah.
Miller's.
That Hammers, right?
Miller's Well.
I remember. I can't remember what game it was, but my dad took me there. I was a teenager.
Central.
And, someone was in. I was watching Colton Cole was playing or whatever, and Colton Cole was shit that day. Whatever, he must have missed some chance. And some geezer, he threw his fucking beer in the air, went all down back. He was, I'm gonna fucking kill someone. And I'm just there with my drink like. Oh,
I remember I remember going in the Central. We played. I'm sure it was QPR at home. And I remember there was because they used to let away fans in the Central, didn't they? They used to go around the other side.
Yeah.
And I remember these two QPR fans somehow found themselves around the other side with the home fans, and fucking someone made them take their trainers off, and they fucking stuck them to the fucking ceiling or something like that. I was just like, fuck. I was only like I was only young at the time, just in early 20s, something like that. Fucking. That was
Yeah.
funny. You used to have some good times in the Central.
But that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. You know, you look at
Sad
that.
when you drive down Barking Road now and they're
They're
all gone.
All
So-
gone.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I go to the Boleyn sometimes for the events.
Yeah.
And
It's not
it's,
the
Central's a nursery, I think. Yeah.
same. So I mean, and that's all Golden Sullivan. That's what they've done. They killed it, and that's a big loss. And then you go to, how we're run. I was saying this to someone yesterday, right? Now we're in our third rebuild within like a year or so. Like, Lopetegui, that was supposed to be a rebuild in a transition from Moyes.
Yep.
And then we sacked him and he was in Potter. And this summer just gone was supposed to be
well, you think
Potter's
Bowen's
rebuild.
had 4 managers in the last 2 years?
It's a
There's
joke.
no stability, is it?
There's no
It's
stability.
crazy. It's crazy to think that since Redknapp, we've had more managers than we had in our entire history
yeah.
leading up to Redknapp.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's mental.
Most of these have come in the Golden Sullivan era. Which is we're the managers, we're the owners that don't sack managers. We support managers and we stick by him. And we've had more managers under them in our.
Who was the first?
history.
The first one was Zola. They hired, wasn't it?
No, was it Zola was already
Avram
there?
Grant.
Yeah, they sacked Zola, didn't they? And they
Yeah.
got Grant.
Yeah,
in.
so they sacked Zola, Grant, then fucking
Big Sam,
Big Sam,
then Slav,
Moyes.
Pellegrini,
Pellegrini,
Moyes.
Moyes.
So they've sacked every manager apart from Moyes,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
But they don't sack managers.
Yeah,
They've sacked every manager.
Yeah.
Moyes' contract ran out. It's the only reason they did.
Well, Big Sam's
Oh, Big Sam,
contract's
still like,
run
yeah,
out.
he's
Big
yeah,
Sam.
yeah, yeah.
But
But
Potter was sacked, wasn't he?
yeah, but again, like we said with Big Sam, it was we're not renewing your contract at a moment when we're doing well, and you're sitting there thinking, hold on a minute, like
Yeah, this is the problem because what they
What
should
was
have
the
done.
protest? What was the Black Balloon thing like yesterday? 'Cause
Yeah.
I know Arsenal stewards were trying to take him off the fans.
Yeah, I got a pack of 100 in. I gave some out. I gave some to Collins. Ginger Pele was there. Gave him a couple. I don't know
bet
if
he didn't take them.
No, he did. Well, he took them. I don't know if he used them.
He definitely didn't use them.
Yeah,
I'd be fucked to that. I can blow up a balloon, but I can't tie them
mate, with Dom could, right, so I blew up about 60 of them. Dom was doing something, blow it up and give it to me, and I have to tie it up for him. And then Marshy, I had to
tie 'em up.
I had to blow him up, and then he could tie him up. I don't know why between them they didn't run a little thing, but I was there nearly most of the game. You see me. Fucking throw it up, next one. I don't know about 60 odd balloons. So I got mine in and they was bouncing around, but some people, like, I guess, I don't know how they did, because there was a thing that went out where the club, like, balloons are normally banned for the game, but for this game they
you've
were.
just grassed everyone up there, Dan.
What?
You know that? Who's blowing the balloons?
What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Ban us for
Can't
balloons?
stop people playing balloons.
No,
up.
really joking.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
only
but
joking.
no, because the thing is, it's not usually that. But what is the club obviously contacted Arsenal
Yeah.
to try and stop
stop
it.
it
They
happening.
went, we don't want black balloons in there. Stop
But
the
they,
black
but, they,
balloons.
but they tried to do that at the London Stadium, didn't they? They turned around and went to Newham Council and asked them to do it, that balloons were classed as objects being thrown. And like Newham Council, to be fair to them, Newham Council are a pile of shit, but to be fair to them, turned around and said, it's a balloon.
Yeah.
It's not a missile. You know what I mean?
Did you see the...
Yeah,
What was the game yesterday? Tottenham Leeds. Did you see Leeds' goal?
No.
Just as he scored,
Yeah.
a fucking beach ball comes flying across the goal like that. Literally, like I'm sure it was the Leeds game.
Oh my god! Do you
Well, imagine if that was ruled out.
Do you remember
like,
the Liverpool one?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Liverpool,
yeah.
The Liverpool fan threw the fucking ball,
But it went in
on
off
the pitch.
the ball, didn't it?
Yeah, and that kid, his ass got fucking bricked through his
How the
windows.
ref allowed that? And it was fucking Pepe Reina went that way, and the beach. He tried to save the beach ball.
Yeah, but to be fair, it was his own fan who fucking
Yeah.
did it. But yeah, that kid.
But
got, he had some
unfortunately,
baz.
It's part of the field of play.
Yeah,
You know, it used to be the same if it hit the referee.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
part of
yeah.
the field of play. You know, you have to get on with it, and
No,
it's just
that's it.
unfortunate.
But yeah, so
fucking another defeat, another London derby defeat. But
Is what it is.
international break now, and we just see how we. I think we're gonna learn a lot in the next 5 games about Nuno.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I think the next 5 games are key. Like you said, you've got to be looking at 7 points from the next 5. They're not easy games. You know,
No.
Leeds away is never easy. Brentford, you never know what side's going to
Leeds
turn up.
away on a Friday night. Imagine what the atmosphere is going to be
Yeah.
like there. They're you know, Leeds. Ellen Road's a tough place to go to, and Brentford. But even Brentford at home is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Brentford, we struggled against Brentford, didn't we?
Yeah,
I know we beat them. Was it 4-0? Was it 4-0 last season or the season before?
Yeah,
when
we had a
Bowen got
rare
hat-trick?
win with
yeah.
them.
But this is now the worry for me now. Like, 'cause obviously we're filming this on Sunday. The games today, we could find ourselves
If Wolves
a
win,
little
we're
bit.
bottom.
Well, not only that, but like we've got Burnley above us. Villa, you know, they're playing each other.
Yeah.
We could find ourselves a little bit of a 4-point gap
where we'd
between
need,
us.
we'd
and,
need a
And
couple
that-
wins, and then you have to hope
And
they drop points.
that's when the pressure's on, because then you start going to the games thinking we need a win. And you don't pick up a win, the
then
pressure's on.
That's
But
this
you
is
know,
the
you
thing.
know where I'm at right now, and this may change. You never know. But I feel like whatever happens, we just need to stick with Nuno now. Like
I think we will.
Yeah.
Like
I think
even
we
if
will.
when we end up going down, just stick with the geezer, because I think we just keep changing managers and
Yeah.
they haven't got the answers. Like we need to get these out and get some people in who have a clue. But
No.
Whatever happens, this is it now.
It's going to be it's a difficult one for Nuno, isn't it? Because obviously his first home game is the boycott game against Brentford. So, but I think I'll be honest, I don't think Nuno really cares. I think he just wants to get a win. So he don't care if there's one fan in the stadium or 60.
No, but this is the thing. I've been saying to people, right, who sit there and say about, oh, well, how can you boycott and not support the team, and what if it affects the team? When we was in lockdown, there was not a single fan in there. We were flying, and people were going, "Oh, it's because the fans aren't there."
But
if we lose, it's because the fans aren't there.
No, but this goes back to again the London Stadium not having a home advantage. You look at sides that sort of drop points away at home. It's sides that have that little home advantage. You know, have the crowd on top of the players. You know,
it makes no difference. It'd make more of a difference to the team if we boycotted an away game than it would at home.
It's possible, mate. That we can get our third home win of 2025 against Brentford.
But do you know what I mean? That says it all. That says how bad that stadium is. You know, not the state.
I don't think it's just a stadium because
the overall concept
I think
of
it's
it
just
all.
that we've recruited poorly.
But we've been better. The fact that we've been better away from home, though.
Yeah.
And I see it under
pressure's off, innit?
Yeah, but it's just they come there and it must be weird being in that stadium, right, where you've got 60,000 of your own fans, you can't hear nothing, right? And it's just silence. You can hear, you know.
No, I'm not going to say you can't hear nothing. You can. There is.
It has its moments.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, you know.
It's getting few and far between, more and more.
Look,
Bubbles at the start. What else is there?
My mate, who's a Tottenham fan, right, he turned around and said to me, he said, as a player, right, when you're walking out of that thing and you hear the crowd singing Bubbles, how can you not get up for the game?
Yeah.
When you're playing for that club.
Scott,
you know?
the thing is, mate, I've always said this. I don't know how you can be a professional Premier League player in a tunnel and not get up for a game of football.
Exactly.
You going out to play in front of 60,000 people. Yeah. That's the dream. That's what you dreamed of as a kid.
Yeah.
Look, we're not going to win every game. We know that. But fucking hell, we said it before. We just want to have a team that we can say, you know what, they gave an effort. Like yesterday, we didn't give any effort. We weren't in the game. But Everton away, there was improvements there. So there is something for Nuno to work with.
Yeah.
And I do think he will turn it around.
And I think what you're saying there, mate, goes back to the fact of that sometimes you know you're going to get beat by the better team. But you've got to show a good account of yourself. And at the end of the day, if you go out and you give you all for that 90 minutes and the better team beat you. If we'd gone out yesterday and every player had put a shift in where we could sit there and say, you know what, Arsenal were brilliant. Arsenal beat us 2-0 because they were so much better than we were.
Yeah.
You hold your hands up going, the better team won.
Well,
the fact that we went out there
and
it was like, right, we're just not going to get hammered.
You think about it when we done it against Leverkusen at home in the quarter-final. Like, Leverkusen were smashing the German. They were the best team in Europe at that time. And we went out there, and what was we, 2-0 down?
2-0 down.
2-0 down, and we come out, we went 1-0 up.
Yep.
You know, and that was fucking, the referee that night was shocking.
Yep.
But that was a game where, you know what, we thought they are the better team.
Yep.
But we're going to give it a go.
Yeah.
And on another day, we could have fucking turned that
you
around.
Think about the equaliser. The equaliser was a shot that flew off the defender's back.
Yeah.
You know, but that goes to show the attitude of that night. You walked out of there. We'd just been knocked out. Right, we drew the game. You walked out of there and said, every single player tried.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is it, and it goes back to what I said at the start. Nuno's identified. Well, we have to compete.
Yep.
And that's what the fans want. And he's come in there and already identified all this. Not mocking the West Ham way, because a lot of people have probably different interpretations, right? When I interviewed Clive Best, he said, 1-2 touch pass and fluid football. That's what it was. However, I think every fan would accept it's the minimum is competing in a game, right? Whether that means the other team have most of the ball, but we're working our arse off to close people down, to intercept, to put tackles in.
But you saw that in the West Ham, in that concept of the West Ham way. You saw off the ball, players worked hard.
Yeah, the West Ham way for me growing up was, you'd give it a go and you'd have fair players and you'd get people that want to take people on. Yeah. People that grew up in the eras of like Devonshire, Brooklyn. We obviously grew up in the eras of Canio, Joe Cole, and that's what you want to see. You want to see players get on the ball, and we used to watch Canio. Canio wouldn't be the greatest every game, but fuck me, he'd win a game on his own.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it. But the players around him would work hard.
Yeah,
and that's what that is for me. That's the West Ham way. Is that you see players who put the effort in, players who want to see the 1-2 touch passing, which is the great stuff going forward. But off the ball, You want to see that commitment. You want to see players playing for the badge.
Yeah,
Not for the paycheck.
That's it.
That's the problem these days, Scott. Most of them are
Paying for the paycheck. Yeah,
the way they care about is their wages.
Yep.
But imagine if they did play. Imagine if they did play for the badge and put everything into it. How much better their careers would be. How much more they'd achieve. And that's the problem, the mentality. And you need players with that mentality, but also you need a club that is going to instill a mentality.
That's why I
an
like that
environment.
we've got bringing through the likes of Potts.
Yep.
Players from the academy that know what it means to play for this football club. And obviously Potts has got that history with obviously his dad.
Yeah.
You know, and so I like seeing that. I like seeing the players. I like seeing the youngsters come on, and I hope they get a chance. And I think we'll be all right. I don't think we're gonna finish top half this season, but I think we're gonna finish comfortably at the end of the season.
Yeah. It's all going to be about what momentum we can get under Nuno, and then what we can do in January. January is key.
Yeah.
It really is. And look, I don't have much faith with these lot in charge, but you know, if we can get a couple players in, maybe a centre back, I think Tadibo is probably done.
It's very interesting the fact that him and Ward-Prowse weren't even on the bench.
And the thing is with Ward-Prowse, like you see the videos the other day of him in training, like he was committed, he was still training. So there's obviously, we know the issues there, but Tadebo's a weird one for me because we just had to pay, what will we pay for him?
38
35 million?
Yeah,
38 million?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money just to have a centre back not even getting in the match day squad. So maybe his attitude's off and he's been told, maybe like he's already upset Nuno, I don't know.
I think this is the thing, because the thing is, we've watched him, right, since he come in, and every time he's played, later in the game, I think that's the icebox, he's looked unfit. He's looked like he's blowing out of his arse. He looks shattered.
He's always looked like that, though.
Yeah, and I think Nuno said, well, sorry, if you're not up to my standards of fitness, you don't play. And that's fair. He maybe he's lazy. You know, and that's the
this
problem.
is the thing is that maybe he's the type of player that believed the hype before he actually showed what he was.
There was a lot of teams linked with him, weren't there, when we signed him?
Well,
you know, Tottenham were linked with him, Man United were linked with him.
And maybe that's the crazy thing, because there was that rumour that we were signing him for the season so that then Man United could sign him the next season.
Yep.
And
mate, honestly, it'd be lucky if Macclesfield come in for him at the moment.
His performances, to be honest, he can go and play for Man United. He's fitting quite well there.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly the sort of
Scott, they won yesterday, mate. They're shooting on up now.
Yeah, I'm glad they won, because that means Amarim stays for them, so they can win. But it's disappointing. Look, I think Ward-Prowse just doesn't fit what Nuno wants. He's too slow in that midfield. And, you know, that's fine.
Listen, mate, the thing we are saying there is the telling point is when Souček's back available.
Yeah.
Because
do you
when
know
you're
what?
slow,
A game yesterday, we actually missed Souček. Souček would have been perfect for that game yesterday.
I said Friday, didn't I? And then I found out, he's still suspended.
Yep.
But he would have been good for that game. Obviously, he's good in both boxes. Thankfully, we didn't need him on set pieces. But we could have gone a little bit more direct, and then we've got in with them late runs into the box, and maybe you got Somerville cutting back. And
be interesting to see if he does bring him back for the Brentford game.
Yeah, that will be
interesting.
The problem is who does he drop? You know.
Well, I think the obvious one would probably be Magassa.
Yeah, but then you need someone to play that older role.
Yeah.
Which would have to be Souček.
Yeah.
Then you're not getting the benefit of him.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's not bad at. I mean, he can break up play, Souček, right?
Yeah.
But he can't start an attack off a tackle. He can make it. He can put in a tackle, and then the tackle goes in. It becomes a loose ball, and then someone else picks it up.
Last time he done that, he got a 3-game ban, so he needs to be careful.
Yeah. But that's because he's too slow.
Yeah.
And that was the problem.
It's just getting the balance right.
So
that's the thing.
He may not, and that's what I'm saying. If he's isn't too slow, then Nuno's probably going to look at him and go, "You don't really." I always saw Souček, his role as a super sub. Like late
when you
game,
need a goal or you're defending the goal.
Bring on Souček. Yeah. So I think he can still do that role. I think.
But you always notice when he's not in the team, don't you?
It's crazy, isn't it? It really does, yeah.
People call for him not to be in the team, and then when he's not, you notice it. And as soon as he comes back, he makes a difference. So maybe this 3 games being out has been good for him. And he'll come back,
see.
you know, eager and ready to impress.
I think with Magassa, because I was there and a lot of people was writing off Magassa.
When he got sent off, he had Potter in charge, and when he comes back, he's got Nuno in charge.
Yeah, I know.
Completely different, isn't it?
But I think Magassa can come good. I think people write him off.
I like Magassa.
He hasn't had a pre-season.
He's only young.
He's young. He's 20 years old and a pre-season. He's new to the Prem, and I think because Don was saying to me, Monaco wouldn't sell him for 20 million if he was any good. which I don't get that. Like that's he's a young player. We're in a position of strength.
And the thing is, what I think people forget about as well is that there is the PSR. And if he classes as a homegrown player for Monaco, I don't know because I don't know where he come from and anything like that. But do you know what I mean? To balance their books, this is what you got to think.
That's what I'm saying.
Clubs let young players go.
This is what I'm saying because he was comparing him to like Mbappe and like that. Okay, we're not under any illusions that we're getting this world class.
Compare a holding midfielder to Mbappe.
I know, but he's like, you look at Mbappe went for this and this player went, and he's talking about all these world class players, right? Shout out Dom, and I'm just like, you can't. We're not thinking that we're getting like the next fucking superstar player, right? It's going to be world class Ballon d'Or, right?
Listen, the whole reason we signed Magassa because there's a talent there, and he's going to potentially, if it works out well, he's going to earn us 40, 50 million further down the line.
We needed some legs in midfield.
Yeah. The thing is with Nuno as well, he's obviously looking at a lot of the youngsters now because he's probably been told that he's not got that much to work with in January, like money wise. So he might be looking, and he's obviously been working with Mark Robson and Steve Potts, who are very close to the under 23s, and they'll be giving them feedback. We might see someone like Kante come through, Fearon. We might see them get a chance over the next few weeks. So and he's going to be working with them during this international break.
And that's the thing there is that pre-season. We see him in pre-season getting game time and then just being cast aside. Like what we saw with Potts, and I'm hoping that Nuno looks at that and then just thinks, Potts for me, the last 2 games that he's come on hasn't really put a foot wrong, and he's sort of pushing now to deserve a bit of a start.
Potts reminds me a lot of, and I'm not comparing him, but a lot of like Declan Rice, the way he plays. People forget that when Declan first come into West Ham, he was a nervous centre back. And then it was only Pellegrini put him in midfield, and then it changed for him. He became an England national £100 million plus player, great player. I think Potts. I'm not saying Potts is going to go to that level, but he's got the potential to go to that level from what I've seen so far. Because I think that where Potts is, like getting into the first team, as I said, he reminds me a lot. The way he moves around the pitch, breaks up play, gets forward. It reminds me a lot of young Declan.
See, you say he reminds me of a bit of a cross of Declan and Noble.
Yeah,
that type.
Noble.
Do you know what I mean? That type of player. Like you said, I'm not sitting here saying he's going to be, but he can be a sort of player that cements himself in the midfield. Of course.
I think he has to start against Brentford.
And do you know what else as well?
I think you could drop Magassa.
The fans will love him because of his connection to the club.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you could drop. I think. Yeah, listen, there's nothing against Magassa, but I think he needs to start having a look, because that's what he said. He said he's getting to know his players. He wants to have a look at what he's got.
It's a tough ask as well to ask Magassa to start every game, especially being new. He's got to get his fitness levels. I'm not saying he's not fit, but the Premier League, you've got to get up to them. It's different level.
Just switch it around. Drop Magassa, and then have Magassa come on for Potts. Just switch it. So now, okay, let's see how you do from the start, Potts. And then Magassa will see how you come off the bench. So, if he does that, I think that's the way to go for the Brentford game. Give him a chance. And then I think up top, Wilson or Marshall. I don't want to see Fulkrug starting against Brentford. It's one of those two, and I'll be happy. I think you could start Marshall, and I think Wilson off the bench, I think is a threat. You know what I mean? Like we see against
and then chuck Fulkrug on if you well, I say need a goal, but if you need
to go 2 up top, you know what I mean? If we're chasing the game, yeah, that's it. So look, very disappointing, but look, we've got an international break now, and we just have to hope that we come out the other side a lot better than we went in. Must win games coming up, lads.
Is there another international break in November as well?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, next year they're changing it, aren't they? So next year they're doing the 2 international breaks back to back. So it's like the Premier League gets like a 3-week break.
Right.
So they won't have 2 splits.
Yeah.
So which is probably be better.
It's the thing. If we can have a good period in between them international breaks, going into that Christmas period, if we can pick up, get them 7 points. Things won't be too bad.
It's just mad. Like we had 4 games or 3 games. I think it was 3 or something in the international break. Then we had another 3 in international break. Then we for 4 or 5.
Players be tired.
Well, the only good thing about this international break is England-Wales, so that should be a decent
should
game.
Be interesting.
Well, at least that would be maybe a game.
Might be quite fiery, that one. I know it's only a friendly.
I watch all the England games. So
Yeah. What, like the Andorras and all
yeah,
that?
I watch them all. I just have them on. Like I always have though. Since I was a kid, I've always watched England.
Yeah.
And you got that big massive fixture against Latvia.
That's why
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
see. The thing
Can't
is,
wait for
when
that.
because I watch all the England games, I feel that I can go out and watch them in the tournaments and not jump on the bandwagon like some people. I feel I've earned this right to
Yeah.
sit in a pub and watch England and cheer them on.
I'm a massive bandwagon.
Then turns up in the semi-quarterfinals. Oh, go on
To
then.
be fair,
I
I
sat
did.
there and watched Andorra, the boring Andorra for 90 minutes. I'm going to
Well,
the pub to
this is the
watch
thing.
the
When Ollie Watkins scored that winner against Holland in the semi-final, I thought all them times I've watched this shit. This is for me. This moment.
They should do it like they should do pubs like the away point scheme. How many points you got? How many fucking
Oh,
Colombia games you watched? And
Oh.
I remember my cousin Matt, right? He took me to Wembley to watch. I think it was West Ham versus someone like Andorra or something.
England.
And England, sorry,
I was gonna say, when West Ham played
Well,
Andorra.
West Ham won the World Cup. But yeah, England versus it was the most boring experience of my fucking life.
I think we've got Wales. Is it Latvia? I think we've got
Wales
after
in
that
Latvia,
Latvia, isn't it? Yeah, we've already fucking won the group.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're taking the piss.
They should just go, right, you don't have to play the rest because you've won the group now. But yeah, like I'm not having Tuchel so far. I mean,
To be
we'll
fair,
see- we'll
like
see the tournament.
in not so much in like the friendlies where he's been experimenting when we lost to Senegal but in qualifiers, I think he's played 5-1-5. Went to see the
No,
goal.
exactly. But
Very hard to
the
beat.
annoying thing with England is that when you look at qualifiers, right, is you look at that group, the biggest threat in that group, Serbia, we just bashed them up 5-0.
Yeah.
You know,
The thing is-
struggled to beat Andorra, but bashed them
Yeah.
up 5-0.
He is as well, like Harry Kane, man. He's smashed it, isn't he?
Yeah.
104 goals in 101 games for Bayern Munich. He's the most underrated striker I've ever known.
And the thing is, though,
Harry doesn't get more credit.
Probably because he ain't got more trophies, and that's not
But
necessarily
that's
his
the thing,
fault. It
yeah.
is his fault in a way because he could have left Spurs.
And do you know what the
earlier.
mad thing is that he's actually being linked with a return to Spurs in January because he's got a buyout clause. I think his buyout
Is he
clause
that
only
desperate not to win
60 or
trophies?
He must. He needs his excess.
No, he might not want to leave. He might not want to come back.
No, but surely there's clubs that will have him that he could win trophies at and go. Yeah.
But that's why he's at Munich.
No, I mean if he wants to come back to the Prem, 'cause now he can get the Prem
But-
record.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
So much Harry Kane that he went to Bayern Munich. It was the first time they didn't win the league in like 13 years.
That's what I mean.
But
It
they've
took
won
time.
it since.
Yeah.
He's won his other trophies.
Well, he
I
needed
think,
a year to get the Spurs out of him. So once he got the Spurs,
shake the Spurs off.
Yeah.
But then they won a trophy.
Yeah, they shook the cane off. Yeah, they both had
That
to-
would have been such a Harry Kane thing, like the Spurs to win a trophy and him not to win it.
Oh, mate,
and then he goes back to Spurs and don't win a trophy.
That would be almost
It's
Spurs.
mad. But yeah, I think Harry Kane's so underrated as a striker.
Yeah, I think it's it. Like he just needs to. If he gets that Champions League,
Yeah.
I think that'll be
And
the icing on the
do you know
cake.
I think
For me,
they're
we've-
topping, at the moment.
Yeah,
Bayern
yeah,
Munich.
doing well. The thing for me with Kane for England, you know, is that again, I don't think England play to his strengths.
No.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that he has to
Well,
keep dropping
he's-
things to get the ball. The guy's
Exactly
a goal
what,
scorer.
exactly what Rooney done, didn't he, towards the end of his
Yeah.
career?
Do you remember we had him taking corners?
This is
That
what I'm
was
saying.
Gary Neville, that was.
Yeah.
No wonder he didn't fucking last
Exactly.
at
Do
Valencia.
you know,
or
and
wherever he was.
this is the crazy thing
Was it
about
Neville?
it. Yeah,
Gary Neville was on
and
the
set
coaching
piece.
staff, set
Oh,
piece,
it was a
under
set
Roy
piece.
Hodgson. Boy,
But then-
Euro
that's-
2016, the worst tournament
Oh,
I've ever
mate.
fucking...
But that's what I'm saying. You know, we don't really play to Kane's strengths as an England side. We play to everyone else's strengths, not our main striker. It's like having Ireland in your side and not playing for Ireland.
Do you know what? Like
we
watching,
play Ireland centre mid.
Do you know what I
I
mean?
see so many parallels watching England, watching West Ham. Like there's so many.
Yeah.
It's honestly
Haven't been blessed, have we?
no,
No.
exactly. So that's it. Fortune's always hiding.
But we're still fucking proud. Come on,
We're
West Ham.
still
Come on,
proud.
England.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
So thank you all for watching. Once again, thank you to the Roundhouse, our home for PMP and my local great venue. So come and check it
Can
out.
I just ask, next time we come, can Denise put on a spread or something? Like
yeah, I know. Denise.
some sausage rolls or
Please
something?
sort us out some birthday cake
Little,
at least. Come on.
at
Cheese and
least.
pineapple hedgehog.
Yeah.
At least. So, Denise, if you're watching, happy birthday, 65th, 65 years young. Appreciate you. So thank you all for watching. Hit the like and subscribe, all that stuff. And one thing left to say, come on, you
Come on,
irons.
you irons.